This video is about electrical troubleshooting. In this case, I go over some deductive reasoning to describe how I found an electrical problem with this car. The symptoms that were reported to me was that while driving, the radio would turn off and the blower would turn off and then come right back on. So I took that information and I made some guesses about where I thought the problem were. And your best clues are trying to figure out what circuits are the same for all the symptoms that you're having. So, for example, I had one car in the past where two different things were happening at the same time, but it didn't seem like those two circuits were related in any way. It didn't make sense that both those things would happen at the same time. Like, for example, the windshield wipers would turn off and the blinkers would turn on. So when this particular event happened, it didn't make any sense. So in troubleshooting it, I found that the only place where those two circuits join is at one grounding point, and found that a bad ground had caused one circuit to feed another circuit power backwards. So it made lights turn on from another circuit that was being powered because the ground broke. So if you look at things that are associated between different symptoms, you might be able to figure it out. So for this, I found basically that there's a circuit that controls both the HVAC system and the radio system, and that is the dthe fuse, which covers an array of things in this particular car. And I think pretty much most cars, if not all of them, have this thing. It basically is body, tail, and interior. So your interior lights, your horn, your radio, your HVAC, all the different stuff, antenna, all that stuff runs off of the same fuse. So I went to the fuse box and I found this particular fuse, and I looked at it. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. So I pulled it out and started inspecting the bottom of the fuse to see if there's a loose connection or if there's something I could see with the wiring. And this fuse box is very, very hard to take out. You can't move it at all without disassembling half the car. So I went for a ride to see if I could duplicate the problem, and I was able to duplicate the problem after driving for like 10 miles. And then I went and I checked the fuse, and I checked the fuse box and that stuff, and then I couldn't get, once I got back, I couldn't get it to make the same problem again. So I went out on another ride and wasn't able to get the problem at all. So I was thinking that because I was messing around with the fuse box and with the wiring, I touched something or moved something just enough so a bad contact was able to make a contact again. So I started looking a little further. I also noticed that when I had this problem, it also was infecting the door locks, which I expected, but it also looked like it was dimming the headlights. So the headlights are on their own fuse, they're on their own relay, so I wouldn't expect that a problem with the BTN circuit would impact the headlights. So I started looking at something a little higher upstream. So there's very little that I have to do with the headlights, but also the interior. One is the main fuse, and the other thing is the entire charging system through the alternator. But the alternator light wasn't coming on, it wasn't reporting a failure, so I wired it up to a multimeter so I could look at the output of or the voltage right here at the battery while I was driving. Couldn't get it to do anything strange. So I started looking a little further. So I looked at the only connector that was in this box, which is this one. And I saw this right here, which is pretty obvious that there's something bad happening there. It's a little bit discolored. There's some, there's definitely some melted plastic in there. And if you could see from the top, there's definitely something going on inside there. So I wasn't sure what this was, but it's a green wire. It's a green wire that goes up to that pin. I found a drawing in the charging system that showed the wiring harnesses near the fuse box, and inside that I found that connector that was at that same location. Looking further at the connector, I found that green line, and further in the charging circuit, it showed me that that green line runs from the PCM to the alternator. And it connects to the alternator in a place down here where it basically controls how much the alternator is, how much current the alternator is generating. So this is like a feedback loop that basically the PCM can demand a bigger field on the alternator, which will make it make more power. So my theory is that the alternator was getting a bad signal, telling it to turn on, and that was causing the voltage in the system to dip to a point where the radio would turn off and the fan would turn off just because of a voltage drop. That was just happening for just a fraction of a second. It wasn't enough to make the car shut down, but it wasn't enough to make it kind of skip a beat. So this green wire here is really easy to access here, but the other end of this wire disappears off goes down that way and into the car. I know that comes out of the PCM on the inside, and I just recently changed out the PCM, which I don't think is related to this problem, but that's another really good idea, is that if you recently made a change to the car, if you recently fixed something, see if you pinch the wire, see if something else you did recently, you disconnected something, forgot to put it back in. One car I was working on, I replaced the timing belt, and the timing belt ran very close to the serpentine belt, and I didn't put a wire. It was a wiring harness that went down by the timing belt that snapped into the timing belt cover, and I didn't snap it in all the way, and it was a little bit loose. It rubbed up against another belt, and it caused a problem. So I found that problem pretty easily, because I was like, I just changed out this other part. Maybe I missed something, or maybe I messed something up while I was in it, which I did. But for this one, the wiring goes down into the car and to the inside. So I could either take out the battery and take apart some of this stuff to try to get into that wiring loom, or I can just run a new line from inside. Once these connectors are burnt out, you'd be hard pressed to kind of get it to work again, especially if there's melted plastic, because the plastic holds that pin exactly in the right spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely bypass this. I'm going to run a parallel line, basically find that harness, find that green wire, find this harness, find the green wire, and make a connection outside of this connection. So this connection is going to be back in place, but it basically won't be carrying any of the current. And in doing so, that command to the alternator will work again, and I think that problem will clear up. So hopefully that's some things you can look out for. I have found a number of problems in the past, and a lot of times the problems happen at the connector. So unless you have a chafing problem where something's touching something that's moving, I would absolutely check the connectors. I think things happening in the middle of the wires is very, very unlikely. That's it. Best of luck, and I hope this helps you resolve your electrical problems.